it's kind of my take on sort of a classic coming-of-age story of the young superhero. It's set in sort of a mythological science fiction world, so it's influenced by Joseph Campbell and lots of mythology. Classic comics like Jack Kirby's Fourth World, a lot of manga, lots of monsters in it. So he's a boy god who doesn't really know what his power is, and his father is a war god, and he realizes that kids needs to have his first big task. So he sends him to this planet that's infested with monsters. He's kidnapping children and stuff, and he has to manifest his power through the challenge of figuring out what's the monster problem and how do we solve it. So, sure, when I was a kid, I had a little friend, and we went to the library all the time. We had a good public library in Upper Arlington, Ohio, which is near Columbus. And that was like bliss, being 8 years old. Your buddy, it's over the summer on a bike. Go to the drugstore, get a bag of candy, soda, go to the library, get the books, and then, just read everything. I was a voracious reader. And back then they also had listening booths with the LPs, so you could listen to music. So we just kind of hung out at the library. They had comics and spinner racks too back then, which was at the time exciting because comics were so hard to find back before the comic book shop era. Probably reference. Like in college, I went to Ohio State. We had 26 reference libraries. Back then we were using Dewey Decimal. Hard to believe. I like doing research a lot. As a student, I would do a lot because you had to, but then now it's really, research is probably one of the most enjoyable parts of the job. Like for Battling Boy, looking at, there's a house, like one of the superheroes has a house you see inside of it. I did a lot of research on, because this character's interested in the occult. I looked at a lot of like Mesoamerican sculpture, Pacific Northwest, like totem poles and tribal symbols. And then for the house itself, Frank Lloyd Wright, a lot of his different designs. And so that's the kind of thing that I would use the library for. Pull out the reference books.
What's a comic you think should be in every library?
I think Bone. I think the classic Marvel comics, like the origin stories of like Fantastic Four, like all that great Silver Age stuff. I think obviously Tintin, early Carl Barks comics, origins of Batman, Wonder Woman, those kinds of things. And then also like maybe for older readers, obviously Watchmen. I love Love and Rockets. I'm sure those are getting shelved. Hopefully Battling Boy.